I'm Jeff Pospisil, the 10-Minute Treasurer with practical advice for improving your church's financial future. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to apply for the second round of PPP loans or Paycheck Protection Program loans. I did a lot of work on this back in March and April of last year, and then later on the forgiveness, and a lot of people are getting forgiveness right around now. So we're going to revisit it. There's been some changes, and so a couple big things just to mention off the top is the second round, there's some criteria changes, but they also opened it up. If you didn't get a PPP loan in 2020 and you find yourself in need now, you can apply. So just I'll go through that application as well. Before we get to that, I just want to mention real quick that the Family First credit, this is a payroll tax credit. They extended that from December 31st to March 31st, and I'll put a link to that video down in the description because that's a quick and easy credit to claim right against your payroll taxes, so it's an immediate help to you right there. All right, so here is the revised Paycheck Protection Program application. So this is the first one. If you have not applied for a PPP loan ever, then this is the one you'd fill out. You can see there's a 501c3 is the one you check. The year you established, if you don't know what that is, usually you can find it on your Secretary of State website. Your business legal name, your NAICS code is 813110 if you are a church. Fewer than 300 employees. I decided to plant a church at Lake Elmo, Minnesota. So 1400 Lake Elmo Avenue North, and I threw in a fake EIN and phone number and contact information as well. So here's where we get to the meat of the application, and they're asking for the average monthly payroll. And so that's your salary and wages plus any, and this is the gross salary and wages, so before withholdings for anything. And then your health insurance, so health insurance direct bill and pension direct bill. So for any of the, for most of my Dakota's churches, 5,600 is going to get you right in that ballpark, so you're probably then when you multiply that by 2.5, you're going to get around $14,000. So, but if you have any regular lay staff, just take the average. So if you paid somebody a total of $10,000 for the year in wages, gross wages, divide that by 12, and that would give you what would that be? 833. So add that onto there, So just go for that average monthly payroll, total salaries, total wages, gross amount, plus health insurance, plus pension, divide that by 12, and that'll give you your number. Number of employees, I just put one. We just have a pastor. And then I checkboxed, I'm going to use this for payroll costs, and I checked utilities just in case. But honestly, over 24 weeks, this is what you're going to be able to count your costs for 8 to 24 weeks is what they say. And over 24 weeks, you're going to easily hit that $14,000 unless you lay everybody off, and then you wouldn't have needed the loan. So the next section is a bunch of check boxes, and read through them if you want, but it's no, except for number 7 is your principal place of residence is in the U.S., so that's a check. Don't forget to initial for 5 and 6, and that'll get you through that. So the second page is where they get into kind of these soft questions where they're basically asking, do you really need this? Do you really need this? And that is a gut question for you as a church and a church leader. Do you really need this? A lot of us, maybe I'm the only one, but I did not expect this pandemic to go on so long. And at first, a lot of churches did fairly well in April, May, and then June. But the longer it's gone on, the more difficult it's been, especially as this second wave really hit the Dakotas and Minnesota really hard. So if you really need it, apply for it. I mean, your mission is important. And if this is a way of meeting the need, that's all right. And then it goes on. There are some, this is worth reading just to make sure you don't double up. But if the only federal program you're going for is the PPP loans and then the FFCRA, which is the credit, just make sure those two don't overlap. That's the only thing. So and sign it. The person that could sign it, the treasurer or the ad board chair, one of those persons would be fine. I kind of like the treasurer because then that's the person that's going to be filling out the application for forgiveness as well. So, all right, now we are on to the second draw. So if you've already received a PPP loan, and let's just say you're at least in the forgiveness process, if you haven't had it forgiven already, you can go ahead and apply for a second draw, a second PPP loan. This first part, it looks pretty much the same. They did change some of the formatting, which is okay. They made your business name really small. So now we get to the numbers part of this application. We're starting off with, again, the average monthly payroll. And this is computed exactly like the first time. So again, for 2020 or 2019, what was your gross salary and wages, your pension and health costs for the year divided by 12. So then I'm not going to talk about that anymore, but then they're going to ask the big changes, what was the PPP loan number? And so you're going to have to pull out your packet from last time, and there should be a loan number on there, and go ahead and plug that in. And then that last section is this test. So you're going to have to actually prove this eventually. But for right now, you can just get out the numbers. You're going to look at, did you have a quarter? So that 3-month period, so January through March, April through June, July through September, October through December, those are the 4 quarters. Was there any one of those in 2020 where you saw a 25% drop or more from 2019? So, and one of my assumptions is that they're not looking at unrealized market gains and losses. Some of our churches have investment accounts. I'm guessing they're not including those. But they are looking at stuff, your offering, your building use, maybe your endowment distributions, your grants, probably excluding the PPP loan part. Um, were there any of those quarters where you saw that large of a drop in your gross receipts? And I just made one up. Normally that October through December is your largest quarter. And so I threw in 45,129 for 2019, and I put in 31,256 for 2020. And just to make sure people know the math, you subtract it out. So there's a difference of 13,873. So when I take 13,873, divide it by my 2019 amount, that's how much we went down. We saw a 30.7% decrease in our gross receipts in this fake church. So again, this application, you're going to want to go through your bank or your credit union again. That's the place where it's going. I would go through the same place that you did last time. And the applications open up Wednesday, which would be the 13th of January. Wednesday, the 13th of January is when it opens up. All right, I hope this helps, and I will include links to at least the previous FFCRA, Family First Credit one, as well as the applications for this, the first and second draw, the updated applications, and then I'll also throw in my link to my previous PPP video because maybe I explained something better there. If I didn't, ignore it. All right, be blessed.